master we strive. One day at a time, Jah give more blessing. Even in abundance, sorry, ain't got nothing. Still I call for me king. It's more blessing. Give thanks, life, loot, and fair represent the mindset.
Blessed love, manners, and respect. Do give thanks and praise for life. This is the Mindset program. Ijahstars, I'm your host, and I'm here. It's a great honor to be here with the Honorable Muta Baruka.
Yeah, man, give thanks, man. Rastafari.
Yes, sir, give thanks. First and foremost, I want to congratulate you on your lifetime achievement.
Yeah, I repent.
Yes.
But we don't get it yet.
You don't get it yet?
No, it's 24th.
The Mindset, thought-provoking. I'm your host, Honorable Ijahstars, and we're there with our brand new Mindset series live on the YouTube. Subscribe, Ijahstars Mindset channel, YouTube. Blessed love.
Come down, sir.
For the what must go on. So much work you have to accomplish ya from the day that we born. If you not have it to meet them, it's the shame that move on. Humble yourself to situation ya pan longevity wall. Till the Rasta man call them out ya with the cry and the call. Tell them the goodness of Jah that is for the one and for the all. Till the lunch break meet the people them from reasons and touch. Look you see yesterday breeze will make them never move off. Meeting a bone and fight it to participate ya in a task. Herb the year a start and one cheering and laugh. Some tell themselves that there's something else where it went. Someone's accepted it as time well spent. Music for Anna Ijah, music for Anna I King. Rasta man na sing music for Anna Ijah, music for Anna I King. Music for Anna Ijah, music for Anna I King. Music for Anna Ijah, music for Anna I King. The money index and friends speaking in a parables right now to defend. How so much of them are bonus when the whole world wide suffering. Dignity and indignity talk a warring. Still, if the job can still reach long enough, we reach everything. The average human access to necessity could have balance better still. Certain aspire still to turn them down, still down to nil. But tell them say that them the will is not the almighty will. Jah give life and Jah give power and to whomsoever he will. When them little and them innocence is bigger than bigger, that's when it's the vulnerability state of things. That's when every kind of influence ya a try fi set in. Music for Anna Ijah, music for Anna I King. Music for Anna Ijah, music for Anna I King. Rasta man a sing music for Anna Ijah, music for Anna I King. Music for Anna Ijah, music for Anna I King. Music for Anna Ijah, music for Anna I King. Universal human fight need consultation. The forces show the force of instant devastation. That mean every moment is precious and useful. Seek sincerity, action, highest expression. Search out the root of a matter well before you rush to judgment. Again and still the words of the Emperor Abyssinian. Speak to judgment, the world situation, solution. First and second class citizens in every nation. But don't you overstand no man. I see the first of Jehovah in a man. Abraham to the 12 tribe in a every nation. In a to the peak operational, technological. And to grounds man and harvest Rasta to everyone. The earth is the Lord's and the world is his plan. Yeah. Critical delineation, I can hear them now. Fine-tuning dialectics, discussing the how. But the how without no is a stray out loud. Is a stray out loud, high official mouth. Resource is the truth in the root of what it's all about. In the first place, they wouldn't be able to suppress such a freedom shout if you hadn't supplied them the arm to assert dictator cloud. Yeah. Always telling with a very important piece left out. It's just business, the exportation of weapon who's the biggest bout. Supply the third world disparity with nozzle for gasoline guns out. Overly ambitiously trying to sweep the world house out. With rebellion among friends and allies, they paint white the house. Calcination and pacification, purification, they say in kinetic, burn them out. Innocent blood shed from the valley to the alley in the valley. Waiting for a spectacle of sorcerer word transfusion. How them can speak up to justify some naked aggression? How many details can you sound by feeling? The chairman of the board of wartime contractor, making sure all the invader invested the thing. Confident desperation in the military wing. The highest general of tactical application reluctant. Knowledge of the danger in the field urging caution. Turn round make it an issue of gender oblivion. With strong preemptive assertion. Whoa, it's like a policy of it first and then try to overstand. Simultaneously having a systemic transformation. Socialism is the backbone of the bailout plan. Meritocracy within theocracy, monarchy constitutional. Ababa Janai, Abakedos and I will publish the righteous goal. I focus the eye in I and I to strive. Them a step and working man pride with pay big time. A short tactical operation, how they narrow it down. They say these are the ideological root of the danger zone. Wish to put any objection as an obstacle out of land and home. Then again, who live by the sword, again die by the sword. Saying universal human fight need consultation. The forces show the force of instant devastation. That mean every moment is precious and useful. Seek sincerity and action, highest expression. Search out the root of a matter well before you rush to judgment. Again and still the word of the Emperor Abyssinian. Speak to judgment, the world situation, solution. First and class citizen in every nation. What don't you overstand now man. I see that sky the first and Jehovah in a man. Abraham to the 12 tribe in every nation. Into the big operation and technological.
Precious from Africa. Precious from Precious from Africa. Precious from This is clear to me, the love that she performed daily in a foreign from the homeland we feel. Her vibe and it's so alive, even though Babylon tried to conquer high vibe, taking us away from the homeland down to Saddam and Gomorrah in a the quicksand. Many tricks and propaganda make you wonder, take risks to find out what is really under. The mass questions of the ask about where we come from and will we go back to where we belong? Will we go back to where we belong? Precious from Africa. own our soul, and we longing to go back home. Precious Mama Africa, precious
No pressure your mind, just make your blessing go up. Take the stress off your mind and watch your blessing get enough. Hey, wait on the time and watch your blessing show up. Just a matter of time before your blessing pile up. The pressure your mind, just make your blessing go up. Take the stress off your mind and watch your blessing get enough. Hey, wait on the time and watch your blessing show up. Just a matter of time before your blessing pile up, yo. I let your mind conceive, you can achieve. Just the process of the hard work. Better believe, hold down for your dreams, so you got to proceed. Get up and bust a sweat, crack the stone and make it bleed, yo. We got some things to fulfill, so even if me have to force the water off the hill, make a move and I go chill. Running water never still, just put confidence in every little thing. No pressure your mind, just make your blessing go up. Take the stress off your mind and watch your blessing get enough. And wait on your time and watch your blessing show up. Just a matter of time before your blessing pile up. No pressure your mind, just make your blessing go up. Take the stress off your mind and watch your blessing get enough. And wait on your time and watch your blessing show up. Just a matter of time before your blessing pile up, yo. Hard work with the fight, make everything great. Got to be early, never late. There ain't no time for the bait. Get your priorities straight, make preparation if you want to win the race. Yeah, and as you get your mind in the right state, then I tell you put yourself in the right place, yo. With confidence in yourself, you know you can dominate the small things. You got to learn to appreciate. The pressure in your mind, just make your blessing get enough. Take the stress off your mind and watch your blessing go up. I wait for your time and watch your blessing show up. Just a matter of time before your blessing pile up. No pressure on your mind, just make your blessing go up. Take the stress off your mind and watch your blessing get enough. Hey, wait any time and watch your blessing show up. Just a matter of time before your blessing pile up, yo, yo. I know you can make it if you try. Steadfast in your goals and dreams, don't you waste no time. I know you can make it if you try. Small step is the beginning, just do it if you're willing, yo. I know worry about the shilling. No pressure on your mind, just make your blessing go up. Take the stress off your mind and make your blessing get enough. Hey, wait on the time and watch your blessing show up. Just a matter of time before the blessing pile up. No pressure on your mind, just
Prince and princess, boys and girls, run your life and you don't fight against the odds. Here I gonna tell you no. Don't make your life expire, and you know if no eyes desire. Don't make your life expire, and you know coming up Selassie higher. As I rise, as I rise, as I rise, we have to give thanks and praise to the right, to the Most High, to the Most High. As I rise, as I rise, as I rise, we have to give thanks and praise to the right, to the Most High, to the Most High. As me rise, me give thanks chance to the same. Me go wish for water dip and beard up me nothing. Me read up scriptures, Rasta and not a vein. A Babylon system, you don't want to forget this. Still yeah, not gonna wet a bird hope and him persevere. Corrupt the youth, them and a pollute the masses. Some say it's the truth, still me say a trashes. Cause stiff naked food still not hail up Selassie. As I rise, as I rise, as I rise, we have to give thanks and praise to the right, to the Most High, to the Most High. As I rise, as I rise, as I rise, we have to give thanks and praise to the right, to the Most High, to the Most High. I say love Jaja with all your heart, give all your soul. No make mega life disrupt your cause. Our Father in control. Give thanks I am for I moon and Jason. Praise Alpha Omega, the great I am. Thanks and praise is beyond to Jah, cause me still there. As I rise, as I rise, as I rise, we have to give thanks and praise to the right, to the Most High, to the Most High. As I rise, as I rise, as I rise, we have to give thanks and praise to the right.
Most High protect me from my enemies. Firm on this battlefield.
scripts, the African, the hieroglyphics. Critics farm gimmicks, but still can't see me. Limit the physics when them not specifics. I'm ancient with it deep as the Pacific. Message the rhythm, them feel it rigid. Message me living from feeling terrific. All over the cities is blasting and the traffic's revive it. I give us from cold and tropics. I protect me from my enemies. Firm on this battlefield. Going out and I'm coming in. Say a few prayer then I touch it with. Most I protect me from my enemies. Keep I firm, this a battlefield. I'm going out and I'm coming in. I say a prayer then I touch it with. As a juvenile, roll a spliff a bedside. Miss many time brethren dead a head side. Them put it behind chesty lead slide. Ask west side, 4 corner the best time. See my friends die, yellow tape on the red line. See green light, everything I go rewrite. Give 3 hour, half hour, 15 pipe. Good marijuana, then 16 Must I protect me from my enemies? Firm on this battlefield. Going out and I'm coming in. Say that you prayer then I touch you with.
Yo, bro, get me sis. Empress, kick it off.
Say evil, look what they doing to me. Only east, no matter people aimlessly. When all my black people will be free. When all my Pan Africans be free.
From we get up every day, all the fights we have fight. I want you bad darkness, we can't see the light. Enough of them go take up all them vampire bite. Well, that's no right, so run my figure light. Ready, send me ready, figurize the machine. Catch out the fire on them racist scheme. Burn up the beast, you will trample the queen. Rise it up high, the red, black and green.
Say evil, is what they doing to we. Only east, no matter people aimlessly. When all my black people will be free. When all my Pan Africans be free.
Compromise, say we not go let you in. Healing up our queens with the pretty melanin. Tell her dirty mind, we go wash up and clean. Rise it up high, the red, black and green. Rise it, the black and the green. Rise it, rise it. Rise up the red now. Yeah, the black and the green. Yeah, so we go
Say evil, look what they doing to we. Only east, no matter people aimlessly. When all my black people will be free. When all my Pan Africans be free. Say evil, look what they doing to we. Only east, no matter people aimlessly. When all my black people will be free. When all my Pan Africans be free.
From we get up every day, all the fights we have fight. I want you bad darkness, we can't see the light. Enough of them go take up all the vampire bite. Well, that no right, so run my figure light. Ready, send me ready, figurize the machine. Catch out the fire on them racist scheme. Burn up the beast, you will trample the queen. Rise it up high, the red, black and green.
Say evil, look what they doing to we. Only east, no matter people aimlessly. When all my black people will be free.
I see my people crying, yeah. The leaders of the world, them need to do better. Fighting for power while the masses still a suffer. The leaders of the world, them need to do better. Fighting for power while the masses suffer. Me say false leaders, misleaders, they're all deceivers, yeah. False leaders, misleaders, they're all deceivers, yeah. When the death toll unfold, mass grave them dig them say it's it's too many for a single house. While the truth remain untold, said them figures no add up, statistics no reach them goal. Oklahoma 9/11 was so bold and cold. I ask, who's beneficiary of such payroll? Ice the old, destruction up on innocent souls. No 21 gun salute, no fall and no drum roll. Africa's invasion was for silver and gold. Now I'll next and a man Osama head roll. My brother goes, he said the beast is on the prowl. Unleashing chaos in the world to maintain control. False leaders, misleaders, they're all deceivers. Yeah. False leaders, misleaders, they're all deceivers. Yeah. The ones who get elected to serve and protect are only serving death to protect their own interests. The world is thirsty more than ever for peace.
Blessed love.
Feeling wars, them continue to invest.
Manners and respect, warm welcome.
Them main conquest. What next? Another backyard riot, global unrest. Civil liberty is been put to the
Mindset program, Ijahstars, your host.
ditch by Congress, communist, democratics.
Sounds of the one called Garvey.
Say you were all dishonest.
One title, Misleaders.
Archismatis.
And you know, say a whole lot of misleaders out there, don't it?
Stable shift, revealing their wickedness. One amount of blood them shed by the truth them twist. Such deeds has long been catastrophic.
I victory.
Fears to this, yeah.
Manners and respect, you know, my brother.
Them need for the better.
One welcome.
Think for power while the
One village up everyone what they are with we today.
world them need for the better. Fighting
We are gonna go up until 10 p.m. tonight, alright?
the false leaders, misleaders,
Of course, we're gonna have a special guest stop at the hour.
yeah. False leaders, misleaders,
Yeah.
they're all deceivers.
But we want to deal with these misleaders.
Murder, a mass murder.
Me I tell you, cause look where you're going in the world, look where you're going in the earth.
Where I'm called fire.
It's serious.
You know, see a murder, a mass
Me don't know, but
a murder.
some people put themselves up on this high pinnacle like they are the gods of the earth.
Must blame them, them say it's too many fashion and them name.
And you know what I mean?
It's another backyard riot.
Whenever time
Liberty is been
there is trouble
bill of human rights
and people need protected and people need to be saved,
and social imperialists.
these are the people who
And as modern days antagonists and
present themselves all the time,
poor people be
saying they're doing this and they're doing that.
killing their wickedness. One amount of blood them shed,
But me don't know.
them twist such deeds.
But anyway, I want to greet the item officially in the divine name of His Imperial Majesty, Emperor Haile Selassie I the First, conquering lion of the tribe of Judah, elect of God, light of this world, His own divine majesty, Haile Selassie I the First, Empress Menin the First, Holy Emmanuel I, King Selassie I, Jah, Rastafari, bless and sanctify, sanctify and bless. Month of Marcus, we are go through on the 25th, Zane, and we want for us drop something from the philosophy and opinions of Marcus Garvey, Zane titled World Disarmament. Zane, present day statesmen are making the biggest blunder of the ages if they believe that there can be any peace without equity and justice to all mankind. Any attempt at disarmament when half the world possesses the other half is but a fierce, because the oppressed will make their oppressor get armed sooner or later. And that is from the philosophy and opinions of the Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey. As you know, we are still in the month of
August, and we said this month is Messiah month. Alright, so you don't know we are gonna drop one and two things in from Messiah himself. Alright, because Messiah did so much, that we cannot forget Messiah no matter what I go on. And Messiah talk about disarmament. And when you look where I go on in the earth and now, I don't know, I've been hearing the mainstream guys, them, and the narrative is like the virgin from America run left the people them. Zin is like the virgin from America run left the people them, or is not fully up to the task of dealing with the office. Zin, so it look like certain hill decision is being made, and the allies are not comfortable with what is really going on. See? Yeah. The allies them not really comfortable with what go on, so but me don't know them say why the virgin wicked for abandon the rest of the people. Me don't know how. Is it a for them responsibility that is, or I don't know if I for them people are the citizens. But I want to tell you nothing, because all of them something, people left from for them place and them gone in other people place, gone say boy, them a liberate them, and them a fight them and I liberate them. I don't know how that work, because you gone there, nobody never call you, nobody never call you and say, yo, we need some help in a rare. See, you pick up yourself and you say, boy, you gone over the people in place, and you go and liberate them because them are ill-treat women and children and all of these things. See, now, even if that is happening, I think that is them need to find a solution within their space, their environment, for them government. You see it? It doesn't require outside interference, because if there's a problem in a Jamaica, Zane or Trinidad, me not see nobody from Russia will get involved, or body from Lithuania, one of them country there, Slovakia. Me not say that. Why? Them have to deal with them issues. Them have to deal with the issues what them have. Zane. So, I don't know, how is it that them Virginia, them just now take it up on themselves, say boy, them gone a people place and them gone liberate, and the people them never ask no liberation. The people them there they live them life normal issues in them countries like every other country. Anywhere you go in the place, in the earth, there are issues. It's probably not big issues depending on which country it is. You see me I say? But every country you go, there are some issues, but it require them dealing with it. Or then it go to the United Nations or one of them place there. You know what I mean? Where is probably now a central body towards, everything we are going in terms of humanity. See? But not just one or two countries just say, yo, you know what? Yo, we're going over there, so we are police the place. We are going to take care of the thing. And them run gone over there. See? Them run gone over there. When them run gone over there now, wow, now. You find out, say, them place there is not some easy place because previous outsiders come there before and them put like landmines and all of them thing there. See, in a certain place because them did a war with the people them, or them the people themselves put certain mines in a certain place cause a war, a battlefield. And you find out them left and gone there, and when them left and gone, you have certain soldiers probably get the assignment to say, oh, you know what, I'm going to have to try and get rid of the mines them, or try and mark and find out where the mines them there in them terrain and get rid of them. See? You find out say that shouldn't even be for them business but because them gone there, that now becomes a priority because them the in that geographical location, So you find out one man gonna say, boy, you know what, he might make a trot go into the hills or somewhere. And him talk to him general say, yo, how much money I take? Him say, yo, I take three man with me. See, 4 of them move out. Boom. Move out now and them I go through. The mines, there are some mines where they, they in the place where them have marker so you can see say, alright, mine there so and mine there so you know exactly the route where you have to walk. See? But it's war. But anyway, 3 man them gone down there. Them remember say nobody no call them 3 of them gone or 4 of them gone down there. Boom. And reach down on the flat now because patrol them say them a patrol them. I don't know what them a patrol, but them say them a patrol. See? Reach down on the flat when them reach on the flat. One man now decides say, alright, you know what? He might go cross there so cause him see something like something a shine and him go over there. And him go over there now. Him figure say, boy, I know what him did really say. Zane, so as him a turn about bloom, a judgment ball, him step on a mine, him step on a landmine. Zane, bloom, him step on a landmine and him step on a landmine and all that God. Problem that now. 3 other man they up there now, So what the 3 other man them are going to do now? 3 other man them run come towards him. Another landmine, somebody step on another landmine. Wow. 2 man left So the 2 man them were left now have to be real cautious because them see Rasta is a landmine. It like is a mine, is a bed of mine the man them a go through, See, the whole surface there, the soldier them, American soldier, English soldier. All of them mix up together. See, whole part of the country. Them say them allies, don't it? But them leave and them gone in a somebody else's yard now. See, them gonna fight the people them for see the boy, them are gonna liberate them. Bloom when them reach them at these things. Nobody now war with them, But the landmine them dead there. And already 2 man foot get lick off already. And that are nobody a trouble them, that are just the landmines that are there. I deal with them. Because nobody never call, See? I don't know no man with them head wrap up. I don't know man with them head wrap up now where a fire no shot off at them or nothing, nobody now do nothing, them just drop in a bed of landmines where themselves is them mark these landmines, you know. See? If you take them up, or if you just use the passage there, if you go through. But them their war is a battlefield. It's a battlefield, but them now know say landmine they over there, sir. Them now know say no land. Boom. 2 man get licked down from the judgment ball landmine them. So when you look now, them have a radio. Them have a radio up top because them they up on the top of the hill camp out. And them have a radio up top when them radio up top. So yo, 2 man down in a landmine, you know. The whole camp I run a come. Boom, medic. Them are ball out for medic. Medic reach down there now. Bloom when the medic reach down there and I deal with the man them and get one of the man them pan the stretcher and bring him pan the other side. Bloom the medic. The medic what the medic step on a landmine. Feet foot gone now. Foot and whole party. See? That about three man already, you know, where no man, nobody no fire no shot off of them, nobody no trouble them, you know. I just the mind them was set in the place, you know. Remember, it's a squad of man up on the top of the hill. See? If defend whatever them have to defend, but them can't defend themselves against these mines. A be a mine. Be a landmine. And it does take them out and I say, yo, Rasta. This thing is serious, but I saw it go in a warfare. See? So it go in a warfare. You have to expect the unexpected. Zane and you will hear say, yo, from the American camp, such and such and such. But them keep it on a down low, them don't tell us, say, yo, a whole for them. A whole per man fly. A whole per man fly. See? A whole per man fly, but them keep it on the down low. But when you check it out, Zane, because all my thing I'm draw that time there, you know, because watch out. Them call for a helicopter, them call for immediate medevac or one of them, what them call it. Zane, a helicopter to try lift out the man them out of the thing and birch it. The thing start to blow because you don't know say that I come with a whole for wind, you know. A whole for wind that I go start blow with things and in the mine, I say the man them come and when the man them come and the thing a blow, you know, one of the mine them lift up, you know, man, and bloof, you know, and lick another man, you know, man. I say, yo, that a 5 man down, you know. And them have to tell the helicopter so if you go out it busy. I say, yo. But me I say, alright, them man a soldier. Zane, them man a soldier and them supposed to correspond with the other soldiers them and I make them know say, yo, this is the situation. We there in a landmine. So even though we need the helicopter to evacuate the man, you have to go find another way of do this because, you know what I mean? You have to go get another plane to do this because with the helicopter, it up. So I said, boy, how kind of madness that? Because the man them should have must know that. Them could have killed about 4 more man. Then, boom, the helicopter fly boy business and gone. It couldn't get to take up none of the man them. One of the things fly and lick the next man. And next man decide say, yo, Rasta, cause about 4 man they down there now, you know, are bleeding, you know. Can't judge, man. Them people are leave from them country and gone to other people country. See? Yeah, so them gone liberate other people. And them type of thing that them buck up on more while. Them, you know, the people them not even have to attack them. No shot them need have to fire a shot. Half of them. There's some landmines. Man get caught in a one man get liquid first, you know. And he never even get liquid. Him just lose some things. You see me I say? Him just lose some things, and by the time you look at you say Rasta, 2 more man get liquid from the mind me and say, oh, this thing I look serious. But when I look upon that, me I say, probably serve them right, because how you leave your country, you have, look how much issues. Look how much issues you have in your country that need to be sorted and rectified. But you find yourself in another man's country. You find yourself in another man's country. I said, boy, you want to make those people great. So what? The people them can't make themselves great. No, them say, boy, Mr. Joe, I don't know. Him let down some people. Or him mental, I don't know, they must say something about his mental capacity that him probably not gonna last longer than 6 months in the place. I don't know how it go. But him a Jesus? I don't know if him a must be Jesus still. He must be Jesus' cousin. You see me? I must say Jesus' cousin still. Might, you never know. You know, they might have a blood related connection, you know. But it look like, say boy, them people are, it's like they are God. People need them. And when you hear from the show, when you hear what the people must say about these people, because they must say them don't want them in them place. Yeah, we don't want to know over here. What we not do over here? Oh, we have some things that we don't need in it. But we don't want to negotiate or do no business with us. We don't feel say for other things, and if you just come and take it and deal with it, or you don't want to deal with it, and nobody enough to say nothing. No, that cannot work. It cannot happen like that. It don't, it does not cut out like that. Zil? It don't work like that. Zil? Because here, if we have our things over here, sir, yeah, and we don't have no use for it in certain ways, and you have use for it, you must come check us. Whichever minister that deal with them type of thing there. Then, if foreign something or another, foreign secretary, then are your ambassador of the country, and we negotiate on terms. We work out a deal. You don't say, yo, you know what, hey, we want this thing, and this is what we want to give you for it. And if you don't take it, then that is your business. But we still going to take what we want. And the man will look on them 100 and I say, oh, I'm to that boy there. I'm to that boy. Oh, I something this, You left all the way from over, so you want it, you want it to show up yourself in a budget. Then, we don't need it for that. We need it for our hospital when we need to do certain things. That is what we need it for. We need it for medical purposes. See? We can't use in our hospital here in this Rocky Mountain. Right? But you want it to do other things. You want it to sell, and you want to make money off of it, and you want to profit. See? So if you want to do all of that, we don't business what you want to do with it now. But we only tell you, say, you see right here now, you only can get it on our terms. And because him do not want to accept the terms and the condition of the people, him decide say, yo, war, all out war with them, cause them boy. Who them think them is? Who them really think them is? Them want to negotiate with we. And we are set the terms and conditions. I want to them, hey, how would them wrap up, hey? And we set the terms and the conditions, so straight away you find out that is a big thing in the people in country, because them are war for the people and flowers. People and flowers, them grow naturally. So why you can't plant some flowers over your place and grow? Why you have to want to come and trouble our flowers? Our flowers not trouble you. Our flowers are alright. But we can sell you some of the flowers if you want. But you do not want we to sell you it. You want to take it by force. And nothing no go so. You can't come take our things by force. See? Nothing no go so. They say $1 trillion of taxpayers' money being spent over 20 years in some of these yeah, man, I tell her. Yes, Victory, for real. After them no business, them so need the German them. Yeah, them no business. You see me? Them no business. But as soon as something, because alright now, what really could have gone now? What really could have gone? That everybody take what themselves, everybody me see man pan top a plane, man. I don't know. But Chano, it dread. Yeah, it dread. People are take for themselves. You know what I mean? But people are probably glad. That's not the thing, that the people are probably glad say Rasta relief. Relief, we have back with space, we can, you know what I mean, we can, live comfortable now. We don't have this thorn in our toe. Serious. Because that is like, that is how them come in, like, to some people. Them just, nobody not, yo. What them do, them use the people, them, see? And some of the people, sell out because them recruit some of them, and have them in a certain squad. Certain squad where them use to do certain bad man thing. See? Because of that, them recruit some of them virgin now. And them work for them. And when them work for them now, and them now, because them work for them, you find out so them try put them in a position now by brute force, with force, and you know what I mean, whole thing behind it, because he might work for them boy there, The said boy them, we are try to bully them, My work for them. See? And next thing I know, say, yo, after a couple of years, them decide, say, yo, you know what? Hey, go ahead, I'm not work for no more. Yo, I do my own thing. Because I say, I use and I use, man. Yeah, so, you know what? I'm gone. One thing we are there now. And next thing you see, them start put, them now start put out some whole bad thing, you know. But pan the virgin them, you know. I say, yo, and them boy, hey, you see them boy, yeah? And them I do this, you know, and them, hey, look on the things that them do to the people, them. In the name of the religion, you know. These are the things them. And when them done proper guys, when them done send, yo, the amount of propaganda with them, hey, may I tell her. And then everybody in the world feel say, yo, Rasta. You know what I say? Them boy there some bad car. Them boy there tell we say them bad, you know. And yeah. From them I say them bad. But the said one them where I said them bad, you know, them bad, you know. That are the whole thing, you know. Patakoskekli, you know. I said white. You know what I mean? Patakoskekli saying it's white. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, them I say them bad, them two of them bad, them. But through them I spread the propaganda, I say them boy are wicked boy, you know. Be evil them do, you know. You see me, them tie things upon themselves and walk and go hug up people and all of them things there. You know what I mean? That is how them boy and them shout out, hey, what must have God great or something like so. And them don't spread all of them propaganda there. You know? And then them start to call the people them terrorists. You see me? And them start say, oh, hey, and boy, they're terrorists, you know. They're barbaric. I mean, you're a virgin on the radio, the man say, yo, them barbaric people there, how can you leave the country in the hands of those I said, judgment. The man say, yo, medieval. I say, wow. Man say barbaric, you know. When a man say barbaric, I say, seriously? That is coming from you. You calling people barbaric, yeah? Serious? Man, no shot, man. You call good, decent people and barbaric. After you go there and see the people them a live. But because the people them not give them poppy just like that, you decide to say, yo, you know what, yo. Bad man thing, and if you not deal with the way I deal with that, yo. Shot a fire. One, two, run that or else a problem. And we are going there for the next 20 years. And we are going, I want to know. So them type of bullies in there, them bring up on the people, you know. For years and in one place, you know. And in one place, and you want them group up together and do them something, you know. That them do, you know. Them call themselves allies. Allies, you know, not thief. Pirates, man. Thief. Group up together and them go rob the people them and take away the people them things and say, oh, we'll liberate them, you know. They're liberated and well done to us. We have done it again. The great liberators from the new world. Yeah, may I tell you. I want to say, what the virgin name? Columbus, what name Columbus? One of them. So them discover. So them go around and from them time then them go around and I capture people place. So them discover place, you know. How can you go and discover? Eh? Same thing that them used to do before, you know. Yeah, man, I don't feel like, yo, I don't care, you know, but it's the truth, you know. Yeah, what the truth, I just say, truth. You want to run from the truth? You can't run from the truth, man. And the truth is the same thing that used to go on and the same thing you see go on today. The only thing where happen today now is it is more sophisticated. That is what is happening today. It is more sophisticated. What are the same thing? Same thing. Different. You understand? Wherever them find themselves or them need something and them say, yo, what they say? Just forward in and tell them things. We don't even ask no question. You understand? We don't even ask no question. We just have to take them something and eat that. And that is how them operate for years. And you know, no one is like, no one can say anything. See, no one can do anything. See, if you say anything, use this and use that and use anti this and use anti that and use. How is it just anti? What about uncle? Yeah, uncle too. Yeah, auntie and uncle. Yeah, I mean everything is your auntie this and your auntie that and you know, come on. Why is it, you know, how is it that everything is anti this, anti that? When people do not agree with what you're saying, with what you're doing, then people play, they're anti this, they're anti that. No, it's a thing where you need to come out of the people in place. You understand? Leave the people alone. Let the people make their own decisions, run their place. Because the people have sense, them have sense like any other people. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. You are for us, you know what I mean? Loud people, just like, oh, you are free, and you know, you are right, and you're on your side, and you know what I mean? That's, yeah. Make everyone be nice. You know what I mean? Don't go around and, you know, you want to, you know, rule the people, and when the people is not up to that. You know, they're anti. Why? No. Yes, sir, I'm sitting there, you know. See? Yeah, give thanks to the high presence. Yes, I. Rastafari. Yes, I. Yes, my people, so, you know, it come this point of the program now. You don't know. I will say we have our special guest. It's now 12 minutes after the hour of 9. So you know, say it's time that we, you know, link up with our special guest for the night. You know what I mean? It's gonna be interesting. I don't know where that echo there come from, Namaja. Where is that echo coming from? I don't know. That echo there. I them always a complain and say echo. Hey, echo not the one thing, man. Because the thing with the echo the pan still in the turn that down, so I don't know how this echo thing. Oh, that's so now. Ronald Production, bless us yourself, you know. Zane. Yes, my people. So, I just say give thanks and praise for life, health and strength, and warfare. Welcome everyone we're there with we. Our special guest tonight, Zane, is a computer genius, a reggae artist, a black activist, Zane, an elder in life. Alright, and is no other than the Honorable Geezer Graham. He's our special guest on the program tonight, and we want to welcome him to the Mindset program. Blessed love, Honorable. Yeah, you need to unmute your mic. Greetings. Yeah, alright. I don't know. I go on this a while ago, but yeah. There you can see we have the elder with we are tonight on the program. Alright. As I say, he's a computer genius. Yeah. Yeah. You saw we drop a video earlier today in the morning. Yeah. Blessed love. You need to unmute your mic. Yeah, you need to unmute your mic for her. I'm not hear that. You need to unmute. Yeah, but I'm not hear you. I'm not hear you. I'm not hear you for her. Whatever you did I use before. Easy, yeah, connecting audio. Yeah, I need to unmute you now.
Yeah, man, there now.
See there. Yes, I. Yes, I. Yeah, man, beautiful. Beautiful.
Sorry about the delay.
Yes, King. Yeah, man, give thanks. Great to have you here again. So last year, I wonder if this thing I get over echo. Yes, I. Blessed. Yes, I.
Yes, and before we say anything further, I want to give the man enough respect for what he is doing, because really, your subscribers and viewers might not know this, but I realize from talking to the guy over the last couple of days that the man have a regular daytime job. For the man to be doing the daytime job and come home and do it every day. It's like every day the man do 1 or 2 videos. That's amazing, man. That just shows total dedication to the work. So the man is committed. And that's what we need. We need committed people in these times to make a positive change. So yeah, man, give enough respect for what they do. Yeah?
Yes, sir. Give thanks, man. Much appreciated. So that's it. Yes, sir. Let's do a brief background of the eye, you know what I mean? For the ones them, I don't want to give them too much still, because there's so much thing that we have to put out there that really are go. Make them know still, but let's give them a brief introduction of who they is, my lord.
Well, I don't really want to do that, So if I know a few things. So if I want to say, then yeah, but I would prefer to just talk about what we need to talk about without talking about myself.
All right. I get it, my lord. Fair enough. All right, so South Africa, the I said when we read in your bio, it said you went to South Africa to do some training, to train 2 personnel in computer programming.
No, I have to let it go. Yeah. The Ex-Combatant Association in South Africa, that means association for the people who engage in the armed struggle to liberate South Africa. They have an association, and the association wanted a volunteer to teach computing. So it wasn't about programming as such, yeah, but I spent 18 months in South Africa as a volunteer, teaching two groups from an era called Kuruman and another era called Anisa. And that is in the northwest province of South Africa. So, I mean, I think it's a good thing that it starts with that still, because I want to highlight something that I think a lot of us, as people of African descent, perhaps don't fully appreciate or appreciate love, whichever way you want to put it. But you say, I'm going to give you a little story. I mean, I don't know how much time we have to talk still, but the association, their office is based in Cape Town. And Cape Town is in the southern tip of South Africa. And where I was going was in the northwest. So it's a distance about 1,000 miles I travel, right? When I first went to the office in Cape Town, them sort out a car for me. The car was, when I was traveling now to Freiburg, where I'm going to do the training, the car was packed. The boot, the back seat, the seat beside me, everywhere in the car was computer equipment, everywhere. And when I was about 40 miles or so from where I was going, I got stopped in a roadblock. When I got stopped, the man asked me for ID, because every South African is supposed to have an ID, travel with an ID, but I don't have no ID, I'm a foreigner. And so I said, no, I have no ID. Asked me for my passport. I can't find my passport. Everywhere pack up, I can't go dig up to find my passport now. And man asked me, what am I doing? I tell him I'm going to Freiburg to be a volunteer to teach computing. I'm a brethren. About 4 months after, while I was in the center, two men walk in, and the man said, I was one of the policemen who stopped you. And from I stopped you, I wanted to meet you. It was an indication of how much it meant to the people of South Africa and to people of Africa generally to see a black person coming to South Africa or coming to Africa to provide the sort of things that they normally get from white people. So you see, because when you're talking about aid to Africa, you're talking about, everybody knows that the aid is coming from white people. Black people obviously make their own contributions, but most people are not conscious of that. What the Africans see and what the world see is that white people is helping black people. And what I realize that cements in the minds of the African, that is, it's only the white people that can look up to. It cements in the minds of the world that Africa can only get by through the benevolence and the grace of the white people. And that needs to change. So it is important, I think, now. It's always been important, but it's particularly important now that Africa can see Africans in the West supporting Africa, supporting the reconstruction, because we're going through a phase now where Africa is reconstituting itself. And us in the West have got to be part of that. And really, we have enough people in the West, people of African descent, who have money. We have enough money about it, I know. Why should all the support be coming from white people? So, like I say, what that does is damages the psyche of the African race. And if we as a people, you see, when we talk about Black Lives Matter and all the struggles that we as black people going through, what we've got to recognize is that the reason we're going through this, our significant part of the reason is the fact that the world looks down on Africa. Let's face the fact. Even we as black people here in the West, a lot of us look down on Africa.
True.
Right? And so because of that mindset that Africa is up
True.
down there, so.
True.
And the rest of the world is up there, so. Yeah? That mindset. So we are the mindset program. So
Yes, sir.
listen now.
Mindset.
Yeah, man. We have to start to address the mindsets.
True.
Yeah, because now that mindset means that a lot of us in the West all we want now is to raise our money for yourself and have big this and big that and, you know, and glorify yourself.
True.
But we don't realize that no matter how much we have, no matter how much we have, we are still seen as black people.
True.
So even the even the footballers, the man that earn ridiculous money, right? Still, they're getting racist abuse. You're still getting racist abuse, you know. So that means no matter how much you earn, no matter who you is, you are still seen as a black man. So the only way things are going to change for us is that the perception of Africa needs to change. And if we are going to change the perception of Africa, then the sort of things that make us look like when you say, Acha, Africa, you know, is the birthplace of the human race. And we think most people when they think about Africa, they think about slavery and poverty, and most people don't realize that we are the founding of everything that man knows as civilization. And we have to go back or go forward to that point where now Africa is recognized for what Africa and who Africa is. And that is part of that journey, that part of that work. Us in the West have now got to link. We got to link hands and arms together, whether in Africa, in the Caribbean, wherever black people there. We're now supposed to be uniting and presenting a positive view of Africa for the world to see. When the world starts to look up to Africa, then they will look up to each one of us as individuals. So we're going to have to, Africa is going through a renaissance, and we all have to be part of that. See? We can't talk so long about me, can talk all day, so go on.
Yeah, well, so all that change are go on, you know, because you have like, you know, the people in power now is, you know, like politicians and, you know, governments, is them going really have to kind of make certain decision where that is concerned. Because when you look now, you still find out, say, outsiders is the one that, you know, is like developing then. It's like we can develop for ourselves inside of Africa. We have to get outsiders to come and develop for us. Like, you know, we are not developers. You know what I mean? When we're supposed to have these necessary people in place. You know, we shouldn't have to import workers. So it going to have to change from, you know, the government's going to have to change the type of deals and them type of things, you know, where them make for the country.
All right, I hear that, yeah. But I don't think we have to depend on governments. We as individuals can do what we can do. Because like I said, I as one man went to South Africa, and I could see what difference it made to the people. Just one man, right? If I started an organization, yeah, called SEED for Africa. And SEED is an acronym for self-empowerment and economic development. And the whole idea behind the organization was that we now want to harness the wealth that black people in the West have, because you have so much sports people, singers, all kind of people earn money like dirt. One man wants to do so much money, where some of that money can be used to make constructive development in Africa. We don't have to depend on foreigners. We have it within ourselves. It's just that we don't have the mindset to realize that that's what we now need to do. So, yeah, I have to tell you this to you, that there are people who are now engaging with that idea. And people might be surprised to learn how many people now are how many black people are moving into Africa. Yeah. You see, especially young people too, you know. We're not now talking about Rasta people. We are talking about business people. All sort of people are now moving into Africa because it is recognized that Africa is where it is at. Everybody wants a piece of Africa, you know, except we. Everybody wants a piece of Africa except we. And we are run from Africa. If you go up on a plane going to Africa, it's recently now you start to see black people going to Africa. But before you go up on a plane and it's pure white people, you go to see one or two black people who perhaps going back for a holiday or something like that. White people going to Africa because what? They know that Africa is where it is at. And when I'm going, they are reaping the benefit of being in Africa. So the businesses, they want to set up the business them, right? They must imply the black man for a little dirt, and they want to make the money and take the money out. None of them ever pay tax. So we supposed to be doing all of that, and we have the resources. It's just that we don't have the mindset. And as I said, we have to recognize that the reason there's a need for an organization like Black Lives Matter, because the world don't think Black Lives Matter. Because we are going like sometimes, you know, we as a race, we are failing to recognize who we are, and because we have the sort of power that most of the rest of the world don't have. But we now use it against one another, instead of using it together. Because if Africa, well, you see, right now, Africa is moving in that direction, you know. Africa is moving in that direction. But us in the West now need to be part of that movement. So even today, this day we were talking, so a brother ring me from Kenya, and is a youth who started an organization, you know. And this organization has been going for a year. And the organization is part of the reconstruction of Africa. The youth are the ones who are going to do it. And what was pleasing to me today is that when he called me with an elder. This man is 76 years old. And the elder is also supporting him. So even the older now, we think, say, the older people now, them gone past it. Even the older generation are now waking up to say, listen, we got to do things to make a change. But that change will come about when us in the West become part of that change. So even the man who have no money, yeah, the man in the ghetto who can't afford nothing, right? If the whole vibes now is that, yes, we are going to focus on Africa, it makes others want to do that. Because if, so you talk about governments, if the whole citizens of Jamaica then, so what not deal with it, Africa? And people know, the government knows that, then the government have to respond. And like I said,
but watch out, the people them, you know, you have to remember, say, most of the people them, you know, them not accept themselves as Africans, you know. Because you have some people in the Caribbean, Jamaica for instance, and that's where me born and grow. See, you can't tell some Jamaicans say them are African, them say, yo, them no African. See, so you find out, say, that the mindset that most of the people them have, it going hard for all of the people them start to think that way in the diaspora, in the West.
Yeah, man, I know that.
It's a few, is a handful of people who right now agitate to say, boy, I even said them are African. It's a handful of people right now in the diaspora. Not every African in the diaspora say them are African. So, you know, that's how we have an issue.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah, but you see, what I'm trying to say to you now is that is changing, right? And we who are conscious of the need now to accelerate that change. Because you see, even we are talk right just now, yeah, that conversation, going to reach somewhere. And there's going to be somebody somewhere who perhaps wasn't thinking that way there, might begin to think, say, perhaps it's true. Because the bottom line, as I said, is that we're not going anywhere as a people unless the race is recognized. As long as the African race is looked down upon, you, who is a member of that race, you're also looked down on. So the only way for you to elevate yourself or be elevated is for the race to be elevated. It's like a man. It's like a man belong to a family, and the family is known to be cook and worthless family. You belong to that family, people are going to look at you as belonging to that family. You understand what I'm saying?
True.
So we have to know that the problems that we are facing these problems because the world, including the African himself, look down on Africa. So we have to change our mindsets to make a change to our benefits. Because, so you find, so now, right, I'm going to show you. Part of the problem still, is ignorance. And when I say ignorance, I mean that in the real sense of the word. Ignorance means you don't know. And there's through this, what I'm called the slave trade. It wasn't a trade, because trade means you give and take. No, this was a trade. This was Holocaust, basically. But what people sort of don't recognize is that because of this slave trade, what I'm calling it, the white man needed to make Africa seem like we are nobody, because they claim themselves to be Christians. So Christians can't be treating people like that. If you are really a Christian, because Christian, the Bible tells us like, you must love one another and blah, blah, blah. So they had to make the African look like they were less than humans.
But yeah, what you're saying about the thing is now, you say the Bible are not Christian, the people are Christian, The Bible is just a Bible, a book, and the people them say them is Christian. Now, when you check them people, feed them religion, based up of killing and pillaging and raping and stealing and all of them something there. So you will find out say at that them are going to perpetrate. That is what going to come out. That is what they're going to do. You understand? So and that is what they done over the years. But for tell the Africans them that they are less than human, that is even going too far.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to say to you is, if you look into the history of the thing, yeah, that is what the white man did. He purposely create the image because he needed to create that image. Because if he did not create that image, then he could not justify what he was doing. So the black man had to be portrayed as not being a human. I mean, that's literally, the black man was portrayed as being half human. Even in America, their constitution or something, I can't remember how it go, but define the black man as a fraction of a human being. And that was the view that was maintained. So during that period, they wiped out the real history of Africa. So people nowadays don't know their own history. And if the black man came to know who he really is, then when I said, what are you talking about? So let me tell you something, right? You say, all right, when you talk about Egypt, I'm going to show you how the thing works. Egypt is the most advanced civilization that man has ever known, even today. Man don't understand how them man that do the things what them do. the man them build something that they think is still standing today. Them can't understand all the scientific work them have. They can't figure out, up to this day, them can't figure out how those men built that. They don't understand it.
Up to today.
Up to today, they don't understand it.
Mm.
And it is not just that. People in Africa was doing heart surgery years and hundreds of years ago, right? But what they did, they separated in the minds of people Egypt from the rest of Africa. But Egypt is in Africa, you know.
Yeah, man.
And the people.
Not Africa.
And the people. Yes, Egypt is in Africa. And
not
the people. Right, and the people who did this were black people. But what happened is that when the Europeans come into Africa, obviously the North of Africa is the easiest point of entry. Them couldn't come in from the south because them coming from Europe. So them coming to Africa, coming to Egypt. When they come into Egypt, yeah, because of the nature of black people, we accepted them. We just like next human being. And so after a while, some Europeans become fearers. You see, but there's a whole thing to this history now. But the bottom line is, over the years, Egypt become less and less black because of people coming in. Mm-hmm. But the original Egyptians were black people, right? I mean, the word Egypt, means black land. You know that?
See.
That was the original. All right, a man named Herodotus, these academics who study history know Herodotus as being the father of history. That means they consider Herodotus as being the first historian to write history. Herodotus lived, I can't remember exactly how long, but years in BC. Some BC, Herodotus, if you read, so I point you to all these things. If you read the histories by Herodotus, when Herodotus talks about Africa, you can see how in his time, Africa was viewed. Africa was viewed with the highest regard, especially Ethiopia, right? In fact, in the histories, the history is about a war between Persia and the Greeks. And although Herodotus is a Greek, you can see the man is not, when you read the thing, you can see the man is not biased. And when he's talking about the different nations, he talk about the Persians, the this, the that. But when he talk about Ethiopia, he always use a special title. No other race get that title in this book by Herodotus. He refers to the Ethiopians as the long-lived Ethiopians. He talked about going, seeing, listen man, he talked about the Colchians. And he says that the Colchians say that they're originally from Egypt. And he said he personally believed them because, you know what I'm saying now? Not only because they have got black skin and woolly hair. That means, the Egyptian that he knew had black skin and woolly hair. Mm-hmm. He says that's not the only reason. He says one reason why I really believe the Colchians is because they, along with the Ethiopians, are people who practice circumcision from way back. So, listen man, you talk about the Dogons, there's a book called The Serious Mystery. And in this book, the brother who wrote the book, he's trying to use this thing about Sirius to prove that men have come from outer space. Because what he found there's a tribe in Africa called the Dogons. And the Dogons, their whole life and system is based around a star. And they are talking about this star in minute detail. But Western scientists never know that this star exists. They might think these people are talking nonsense. And I think it's in the 50s that they discovered the star. And when they discovered the star, they found out that everything that these people are saying was right down to the last letter. They talk about the orbit of the star. So they're going into so much detail. But what the man who write the book is trying to say, that the only way Africans could know this, man must have come from outer space to tell them that. What he don't realize is that Africans were the earliest astronomers. Africans were the earliest astronomers.
Yes,
but all of those things are now lost to us. But there are people now, who are uncovering these things. And a lot of information is out there now.
Yeah, man.
Make our ones know that really Africa is not what we've been led to believe Africa is. And on top of everything, Africa is a continent that have everything. Anything that man wants, you're going to find it in Africa. That's why the Chinese are there. That's why everybody run. That's why the white man held on to South Africa so long enough. They don't want to let it go.
Let me ask you this about South Africa.
Yes.
A few years, I think about 2-3 years ago, probably longer than that still, but there was a saying that the Europeans needed to leave and they needed to give up the farmlands without compensation. Or you view that?
Right. So you're talking about Zimbabwe or South Africa? Because
South Africa.
Zimbabwe.
South Africa, I think Malawi, but the original name was mostly the one who was agitating towards that still.
Right. So, okay, what you have, right, is that after Mandela get released and try to bring the country together, and he seemed to be of the view that it don't make sense you have fights, because if you go and fight, people just go and dead, right? So him try to build what they call a rainbow nation. Well, we have to realize, that people are people, and we must never forget that. And so once black people now take control, then the sort of things that you have all over where black man now just abuse them own people, that now start to take effect. So you're getting abused now, in Africa now, from Africans themselves, right? So, but there's a brother, Malimo. I can't remember his name exactly.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. So, but as I say, the youth are the ones now who are making a change. So the things that I'm saying is the sort of things that he's saying too. And part of what he's saying is that I don't want to misquote him and say something wrong I'm not saying.
Paraphrase.
But the bottom line, right, but the bottom line is what I'm saying is that the white man, what him have in Africa, in South Africa, don't belong to him. He's a foreigner. And him come and take it. He's not even say, you give it to him. And I buy it. Yeah. Him come and take your things. Right? So if things have to be how it's supposed to be, then they have to give up them things. They don't want to share up the thing. But they want to hold on to what them take. They want to hold on to it. Yeah. So, and you have those in government who, because some people now, from them all right. And that happen all over the place. So what we have is an ongoing struggle between the have-nots and those who have and want to keep what them have.
Mm.
And that's what the thing there. Understand? But it's a struggle that is going to be won, because more and more people from the West, from within Africa, are beginning to engage with that struggle. So I have no doubt that that struggle is going to be won. And it's going to be won more quick than a lot of people think, because Africa is on the move. I visualize, I've always said that the 21st century is the African century. Africa has got to find its feet, but there's a delicate balance happening here. And even the politicians are beginning to move in that direction, because that's what Haile Selassie was about, you know. When Haile Selassie formed the Organization of African Unity, you were to say the Organization of African Unity, there was a need for Africa to become one nation, because there's a sister, can't remember her name now because sometimes my memory don't function too well, but this, she used to be a spokesperson, no, an ambassador, U.S. ambassador for the
United, yeah, man.
Yes, she used to be, right? And she and others like her are now saying, we have to throw out the Europeans in the real sense, because they've been thrown out politically, but they're not thrown out in terms of the power. And we now, as Black people, have to come together and see that this happen. And the leaders in Africa are beginning to wake up to that as well, because now, whereas in 1963, when Selassie and them formed the OAU, it did not become what it was supposed to become. But this year what we live in now, right? Africa, they have now breaking down borders and creating, like when you talk about the European Union.
Yeah.
We're now moving. We are now moving that direction in Africa. So Africa is getting its act together, and we and the West have got to be part of that action. We want to help make it happen, and the more we do. So you say, we in the West, right? For example, Jamaica, like you said, you can't tell some people that they miss African. Some don't know what them is, because you see, people get confused between race and nationality.
True.
You can say a man is Chinese because he's of a Chinese nationality, but he can be Chinese because you're of a Chinese race. You understand? So a man who is born, say an Asian man who is born in Africa, let's say born in Kenya, he's a Kenyan national. But his race is still Asian. So there's no race named Jamaican. You are a Jamaican national, but your race is African.
Yes, I. That the people have to know.
You are of the African race. And even if you don't want to think you are of the African race, the rest of the world, when them see an African, they see somebody who's of the African race. So until the African race is restored to its rightful place among the brotherhood of man, you who don't want to see yourself as African, the rest of the world see you as African. So you are looking down on yourself. And that's, so we have to start to look up to each other. That is what Marcus Garvey was about. But even I would love to say something about Marcus Garvey, but we run out of time. Yeah? But that is what Marcus Garvey was about. Restoring the dignity of the African race. because we are a proud people. We are people. We are the first people. We are the first people. All races come out of Africa. So now, those who believe in the Bible and all them kind of things, them, I don't want to insult anybody because a person will know and believe what they know and believe. But when you're talking about Adam and Eve and all them kind of things, the scientists will tell you that the earth has been here for billions of years. And the first people they can find, the first mummies and skeletons they can find are in Africa. All of the first skeletons that they can find are in Africa. We were the first people. And their scientists will tell you that all of the rest of races, came out of Africa, but traveled. And so it's like Africa spread out. So by the time they reach Europe, them start to lose their pigmentation. Because you see me, me born in Jamaica. But me, even now, me not black like I was when I was there in Jamaica. Because I live in England too long. So imagine a race away from Africa for thousands of years. They're going to change. So, but we are all Africans, and we who still are pigmented, all our pigments, we are still the mother and father of civilization. And the world, and the white people recognize that, So it's not just about black people.
Black man is a progenitor or the African man is the progenitor of man.
Exactly. And so now we have to now restore our pride.
But the thing is, him don't want to accept that still, all what go on, him don't want to accept that the African man is the progenitor of all man, and his genes is a recessive genes, which the Africans is dominant.
When they say they don't want to accept it, who don't want to accept it? You mean the white people or the black people?
White people don't want to accept that. White people don't want to accept that. That is why you find that even that power struggle in South Africa, where they don't want to give up the power, because it's not something that they don't accept it. They do not accept it.
Yeah, but brother, listen, I hear you, right? But you see, you can make generalization, and when you say generalization, that means the majority of a certain set of
Yeah.
But although that is generally the case, there are white people who accept it. I can point you to YouTube and other kind of where white people are saying this. White people are saying this.
No, me not say some are not saying it. I'm not saying some are not saying it.
All right. Okay.
But the majority is not saying
it.
You know what I mean? Some is saying it, but the majority, which is a consolidated power, is just ones who don't see things the way that 90% see things. You know what I mean? That that are just the reality. But
sorry, go on.
Yeah, man. The majority do not want to accept that. They still want to. In America, when they look in America, 2 years ago, a black youth does a jog in a neighborhood, and some two white virgin, probably about 3-4 of them, one of them video it, and them decide that they're gonna drive down this young man and just murder him cold-blooded, just like that. And that is because they feel like they can always do these things and get away with it, because how they see African people. See, so you can see that it's not something that the majority accept.
Yeah, my brother, I hear you now. But what I'm trying to say to you now is that that's why I say you can make a generalization, and generally speaking, the majority don't accept it. I know that. But the number of people who accept it now is more than accepted it 20 years ago or 30 years ago. So what I'm trying to say now, there's a growing trend towards acceptance. It's something that is slowly moving, but it's growing. So, so even the thing now with George Floyd, there's a whole white people come out and say, no, man, not wrong. People begin to see. So what we as people of African descent, we have to help to keep that development moving. But people are moving in the right direction. It's a slow process, but it's happening. But what is perhaps even more important right now is for us as a people to recognize ourselves. When we recognize ourselves, recognize each other, then we're moving in the right direction. And again, that is something that is happening now. So the world is moving in the right direction as far as we are, as a people, are concerned. You see, but there's an issue. So right now, as far as I see it, it's a struggle, you know. It's a struggle.
But all right, Elder, you know, say, Kabi, you mentioned Black Lives Matter, and there's a lot of ones out there. And I probably would say majority of the people do not really gravitate to it because, you know, they must say it's been hijacked. You know what I mean? It's not run by African people. It's not an organization. It's not something that, you know, run by African people, and it's been hijacked and take over and run by other people. Now, when you talk, you know, George Floyd, I think George Floyd has amplified that movement. The death of George Floyd has empowered that movement now to a stronger organization. But why the people had to say this is wrong and things, because it was all in the face that it was wrong. You know what I mean? It wasn't something that could have, you know, was hidden, like a lot of things that, you know, we don't get to see. You know what I mean? A lot of youths that lose them life, and you know what I mean, you don't see it on video. Or police deal with some other people. You know what I mean? But that incident was there for the whole world to see.
Right, but you see now, what you do, you know, what you've just done is point to something that is significant, because the attitude that a lot of white people have towards black people, they have that attitude because of ignorance. They don't know. But when they come to know, they realize, hold on a minute, it's not right. But they never know what's going on. So a lot of people, when they come to know, they can see. So we have a duty to ourselves to make people know what they don't know. So that's even part of what we are doing right now. True. So while we can be in some way concerned about the white man who is ignorant, our immediate concern right now, I think, is the black man who is ignorant, because there are a lot of black people who are ignorant. And the ignorance, so when we talk about ignorance, you know, sometimes in Jamaican parlance, we talk ignorance means somebody go and bad or something. No, but ignorance just means you don't know. So the ignorance in Jamaica towards the race is something very serious. So we have to. All right, I'm going to tell you something. So I have much faith in the progress of life, because the very first time, you know, the very first time I go to Africa. It's me and my mother go. And she's a Jehovah's Witness. And, well, she's passed away now, but she was a Jehovah's Witness. And to see a Jehovah's Witness want to go to Africa just shows you that things can change.
True.
You understand me? So we have to work and help to make that change. And to a certain extent, I don't like to use the word blame, right? To blame other people. But we have to acknowledge some things that are not as they should be, put it like that. And I think, so hold on a minute, let me ask you something.
Mm-hmm.
How much time we have? How much time we have now?
We have 10 more minutes. We have 10 minutes.
All right, okay. All right.
I'm still going to ask you some questions I did want to ask you still.
All right, go on, ask me.
All right, I don't even think them things are kind of relevant still to what we really are talking about still, but kind of just change the course a bit, you know what I mean? You did a documentary on black people in the 90s, and later in 2008 it was something that it brought you to the Jamaica Reggae Festival. The documentary that you did.
Yes.
Talk to me about the documentary a little bit and it making the film festival in Jamaica.
All right. Well, that documentary was in two parts. The first part looked at the movements of black people over the past in the 1900s. Let's put it like that. So we never go back too far, right? Just to say, during the 1900s, this is what happened to black people. Yeah, and so the documentary includes things like even the works of Marcus Garvey, and it went into depth on the works of Marcus Garvey. It talked about a whole lot of things, right? And part of what it talked about is how Rasta came forward, and it just developed. It just deal with the history of black people, the collective history of black people from all over. So touching America everywhere, right? But the second part of the documentary now looks forward. So we're projecting now to what is to come. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so that is where it talks about Seed for Africa, etc., etc. But listen, why the film was given us showing at the first Reggae Film Festival is because the way the film was put together at different points where different things are being said. We as black people are reggae musicians. We have a song for everything. Virtually everything you can talk about, you have a song about it. So, your film might have soundtrack and music behind it. Well, the music behind most of what was going on was reggae music. And so, because of the significant contribution that reggae music made to that film, the film was given a special showing at the first Reggae Film Festival. So that's how that they go.
Okay. All right, talk to me about your time at BBC. BBC Leicester?
Yeah.
Talk to me about that journey there.
Yeah. What you want me to say?
tell me what you used to do, man. What you used to tell the people, I know me, because I read your bio, them don't know. Them, and the people are more interested. Me ask the question for the people, them still.
All right, okay. Well, listen. You said we'd have 10 minutes, and I think I have one more minute. Yeah. Yeah. And there's a lot of things that I can talk about. A lot of things. So perhaps what we can do with the IA's grace, we have a next talk next time. Because each thing that I touch on, I could expand on that. Everything that I talk about, I can expand on that. So even the thing about, you asked me about Radio Leicester, that's a whole story. Yeah. So we're not going to try and fit that in a minute. But one thing that I would mention now is that in 1987, when it was Marcus Garvey's centenary, I did a piece on the station to look at the life and works of Marcus Garvey. And it was an extensive piece there. And as part of that, I did a telephone interview with Marcus Garvey Jr. And look at it, 10 minutes up. We can tell you this.
Yeah, man, go on talk, man. Go on talk, man. I we in control, you know. Nobody not control, but
all right, good. So I did a interview with Marcus Garvey Jr., a telephone interview from the States. And I have heard that when Marcus Garvey left Jamaica for the last time, he said that he does not want to set foot again on that island. I hear that. But I know that man and man talk all kind of things, and sometimes it's exaggeration and no go so. Yeah. So normally when I do an interview on the radio, I aim to ask the sort of questions that I think the listener would be interested to get the answer to. I kind of focus my mind on that. But in this interview with Marcus Garvey Jr., there was a question that I was asking because I personally wanted to know. No business if anybody else want to know. That's for them business. Me want to know this. So I asked him, is it true that his father said that when he left Jamaica, that he said he does not want to set foot back on that island? And Marcus Garvey Jr. said, yeah, it's true, he said that. Now, obviously, I don't know if he said that, because he don't tell me that himself. It's his son tell me that now. And that is the closest I could get to Marcus Garvey. But his son confirmed that he said that. So I asked him, so when Jamaican government decided to exhume his body and take it back to Jamaica, did his family have any say in the matter? And he said, yes, they consulted with his mother. So when he tell me that, no, we just made the matter rest. But what I was thinking, and I've been thinking from that day till now, and been thinking before and still think and will always think it, is that if the man said, if they want to set foot back on that island, why them going to dig up the man's bone and carry it back? That mean I think,
why them do that?
Yeah.
Because wicked set of people, man.
Well, perhaps I never know him say that, so I don't know. yeah. But and it could be said that they do it to honor Marcus Garvey.
Maybe.
And I can see that too.
Maybe.
Right. And you must realize that Marcus Garvey Jr. said that his mother agreed. So you can't put the blame on the government alone, if I saw it go. So, but the point is, I think, so I can't speak for Marcus Garvey now, but I think that Marcus Garvey must be turning in his grave, man, to know that the man them come and dig up him bone and carry back when he never want to be, back on. right?
For
So
real.
I think that the government should know. So I suppose I can't take my word that Marcus Garvey Jr. said that, and Marcus Jr. passed away just a little while ago. So I'm going to confirm it with them. But that's what I'm saying. That Marcus Garvey did, I understand that Marcus Garvey did say that. And perhaps the Jamaican government should do something to, them can't dig up the board and carry back to England. But I think they should do something to indicate that, to make Jamaicans and other people realize that Jamaica government did not treat Marcus Garvey good. He's who saying, them never love Marcus, poor Marcus. The Mighty Diamonds. No, that's Mighty Diamonds.
Okay.
And Burning Spear saying, no one remember poor Marcus. Yeah, but the fact of the matter is that Marcus Garvey had a horrible time.
Your might is milk. Your might milk. Yes, sir.
Sorry about that. Yeah. What I said is that Marcus Garvey got treated very, very badly by the Jamaican establishment. And you see, it's one thing to do things that are wrong or things that are not right. And we all do things that are not right. But it is important when it is recognized that, I do something that wasn't right. You acknowledge it as the first step in trying to put it right. And so I think Jamaica has to acknowledge that the man who they call the first national hero, Jamaica should make it known that really we did not treat this man right. And that would start to put, mend some things, mend certain things. But you see, I don't know if the way Jamaica, you see, I don't want to talk politics, see? But because when I talk about changing the mindset, so I'm going to have to keep using that word now because your program has the right name. This is all about mindset. Yeah.
Yes,
so I say, your mind is set will determine what you do. So if your mind is set right, what you're going to do is not right. So we have to move towards getting the right mindset.
True.
For each of us.
True.
So I said, and right now, I think part of the problem, not part of the problem, the whole problem is that Jamaica has largely, when I'm talking in general terms, have the wrong mindset. So all of that is to change the power that Rasta have shown and exerted over the whole world. It's amazing power.
All right, interesting you said that, because this leads me to that question now, because I have two more questions I want to ask there before we wrap up on things still. Rastafari in Africa, what it's like on the ground for, Rastas even returning to Africa. South Africa have a huge number of Rastas in South Africa. Talk to me about Rasta and Rastafari and South Africa in particular.
All right. Before I try to address what you asked me, I have to it come back to mind that I have to give thanks to Jabi Bonnie. Because Yeah, man. That's a brother that I first met in South Africa in 1994 when they had the first election. And I was surprised to go down there and find out Bonnie was living there. And not just Bonnie, there was other black man down there, even at that time, right? So no respect to Bonnie. And Bonnie is a man who, well, I think he was on a program a couple of weeks or so ago, and the man who know enough about Rasta. But anyway, so I give thanks to Bonnie that will make this link, because if it was for Bonnie, I would not be on your show today. All right. So we'll hear this now. If you're going to ask me about Rasta in Africa, it is not what people think, and I don't want to say something and give a piece, and then the piece don't give you a proper picture. So let me say, if it is the eyes will, then we can have another reasoning and we can touch on other subjects. But each subject is too big to address in a couple sentences.
No, man, go on talk, man. We're not run, nobody not run away now. How much people we have on the live? We have 33 people. More of a large up everyone where they are with me in the night, yeah. Zane, we have about 33 people. More of a say manners and respect for the item and take the time. We are going to continue the reason, the elder go on reason. Zane, yes, so we're not going to cut it right now, because I know the people, there it would be such a shame to try, cut off it on the people like that, so.
Okay. So you asked me specifically about South Africa.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's, let me see now. I can't remember 2000, about 2006, around about that time there. Perhaps a little bit later still. It's the last time I was in South Africa, right? Most of the time that I spend now in Africa is in East Africa. Okay, so I don't want to try to tell you too much about what is actually going on in South Africa as such. I can look on YouTube and get a vibes, but when we talk, I like to talk what I know. When I like to talk what I think.
So, I heard you that tell me said you have the largest Rasta in South Africa.
Yes, yeah, but that's what I gather from information that I can see, right? That you don't have no way on earth you have more people, more Rasta than in South Africa. But the South African, what I talk now, what I gather from other sources now, I talk about one
I think them said them run the Rasta organ in South Africa.
Well, you see,
they're responsible.
All right, hear this. But man did say, reggae music will get bigger and bigger until it finds its right people. We said that, And that is what has happened. You see, reggae music started in Jamaica. This is a thing I said, right? That reggae was born in Jamaica, but it now lives in Kenya. If you go to Kenya, you won't be paid.
But wait there, but them say right now France are the home for reggae music or something like that. Them say France are the university reggae. Some
Yeah. But when them say that, what I mean is that that's where reggae music is being made.
See?
Yeah, right.
What I mean by being made, though, because I don't know.
No.
Reggae music are all over the place.
No, but what I say then, when them say about France, when we say Kenya is the home, so reggae was born in Jamaica, but it now lives in Kenya.
Yeah.
I mean the people.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, the people, right? you go up on a, like where you call the minibus, them call it matatu. Pure that you hear, you know. I just reggae, everywhere you go is reggae music here, right? So, but when I talk about reggae music right now, what I say is this, that we're talking about Rasta. Yes, as far as I gather, South Africa has more Rasta than anywhere else. And the man them take Rasta and make it into what they add their own Africanness to the Rasta thing now. So Rasta is not what we in Jamaica would think about Rasta.
But I would have said Rasta was always Africanness still.
Well, all right. So that is what I said. Bob Marley said, Rasta, reggae music will get bigger and bigger until it finds its right people.
Mm-hmm.
So it gone to find its right people, and its right people are in Africa.
True.
I'm not sure you know, right? So yes, in Africa, in South Africa, I can't talk too much about what's actually happening on the ground. But what I can tell you about Rasta in Africa generally, yeah. So let me point out something to you now. The first time I go to Africa, I went to Zimbabwe. And the weekend when I reach, I go to a club. And a man come up to me in the club. And the man called me aside, because you have music I play. The man really wanted to talk to me. And the man said to me, Africans don't like the fact that black people come from the West and act as if because they come from the West, they are some way superior to the African.
Mm-hmm.
Him said Africans don't like it. But they're not going to tell you. That's what he said to me now. They're not going to tell you. So I don't know why him tell me when him tell me that. And I come to find out the reality. I come to see it in the starkest way. But again, no, I forgot to tell that story. I don't want to go to the story there for making you know how me see that. That's a real something, right? So now what you have is that if you're going to talk about Rasta in Africa.
But all right, Rasta said, just to back up what I said a while ago, see? Because you have Rastas now where I say, boy, Africa awaits its creators, and the creators is the Africans them now, which is the Rasta-minded, Pan-African-minded, Africans them in the diaspora who are go back home to Africa, see? And a lot of Africans, as I said, do not ascribe or subscribe to that narrative.
Yeah, but you see, you're the problem. You see, if Africans from the West are going to be the creators, yeah, you can go back and do the work now. That don't mean you have to go on like you're bigger than everybody else. You can still go and be part of the people and just be normal like the rest.
Just like what Marcus Garvey did say.
Yes, you just go and be part of the people and just live with the people and nobody go on like because you come from the West. You're something you might be doing, you might be coming with things that they don't have and you might be coming to help. But it doesn't mean you have to go on like you're king over them or something and if you don't like it. And as the man tell me, I mean, no, it's not true.
Western mindset.
Yeah, so, listen man, I have been, I can talk all night, you know, so you have to know that, right? I have seen, I don't want to call no name, I don't want to talk about it in a way that anybody can identify who or what I'm talking about, but I've seen a very high-profile reggae band in Africa. And I have sat in a hotel room with these men, but they did not know I was a Jamaican. I never tell them. And I would have to give you the issue how that come about too, right? But I have seen with my eyes and hear with my ears all those high-profile Rastaman talk about Africans. I see and hear it, right? You would never believe, if I tell you who these people are, you would never believe that them people could go on like that. But me see it. Something I've seen. A brother called me today from Kenya. And him say the thing from last night about Nzinga. So I see that. So I'm still in Kenya and see it. And him don't see it because I tell him, I just see it. Anyway, so in the conversation, I asked him about a brother because I wanted to make reference to this brother. So there's a brother, those two brothers who in Rongai, that's a particular part of Kenya, and two Rasta brethren, yeah. But when I go to Africa, I don't go to say I'm going to link with Rasta man, you know. I just go to be the people. So if a Rasta man did it, I'm with him. But if he not did it, I'm not with him because I'm with the people.
Yes,
so,
sir.
So this brother, a brother, tell me that them two Rasta man, they bout man. So I say, yeah man, I like meet the man there. And so contact was made and me arranged to meet this man. And I could not believe it that when we tell the man where to meet, the man don't know where me I talk about. The man did not know where I was talking about. And it come like, you know, if somebody live in London and I say that them don't know where Trafalgar Square is. It was like that. This man just did it, and them man, they don't mix with the people. These people must come to them. And the people go to them too, you know. But the people are going to them to get what they can, but the people don't have no respect for them, and they don't know. So, so the brother tell me today, you can bring me today, you know, and I show me the thing from last night. And I show me say, one of the brother, and this brother been there for decades, and say him go there, I think him say Prince Emmanuel and send him there and they left to do works and blah, blah, blah. One of the brother run up and down, mad now. Yeah. So I don't want to put down the conscious Rastaman who is there and trying to do something constructive. But Rasta in Africa is not what people think it is. And a lot of people go to, even Sashamani, I've never been there. But even when...
The camera want to adjust, Elder. Can adjust it.
All right, okay. Yeah. So even what one or two man who I know and have regard for, they say, the man and I go tell lies, so right. The picture that they paint, Shashimani comes to nothing. The land that Selassie did grant to Rasta, by the way, never granted the land to Rasta, you know. He granted the land to black people from the West, from the West,
yes,
right? Not to Rasta specifically, but because of the mindset of black people from the West, most of the people who end up in Shashamane was Rastaman. Yeah, but and again, there are Rastaman who are well-meaning, but the thing fall down, and why the thing fall down, you know? In my view, I'm going to tell you now. So, I'm a musician. People classify me as a musician, although I don't know band or nothing like that. And I mentioned this to you before, but I'm going to mention it now for your listeners and your viewers. In 1974, 1974, 1974, 1974, 1974, 1974, 1974, 1974, 1974, 1974, 1974, 1974, 1974, 1974, 1974, 1974, 1974, 1974, 1974, 1974, 1974, 1974, 1974, 1974, 1974, 1974, 1974, 1974, 1974, 1974, 1974, 1974, 1974, 1974, 1974, 1974, 1974, 1974, 1974, 1974, 1974, 1974, 1974, 1974, 1974, 1974, 1974, 1974, 1974, 1974, 1974, 1974, 1974, 1974, 1974, 1974, 1974, 1974, 1974, 1974, 1974, 1974, 1974, 1974, 1974, 1974, 1974, 1974, 1974, 1974, 1974, 1974, 1974, 1974, 1974, 1974, 1974, 1974, 1974, 1974, 1974, 1974, 1974, 1974, 1974, 1974, 1974, 1974, 1974, 1974, 1974, 1974, 1974, 1974, when the Wailers make the Natty Dread album. I write some lyrics then, 1974, that said, it has been recorded that Natty Dread. But right now, me Hydrant, don't let that get to your head. Because if you do, we'll get caught up on this lower region. So be calm and know if we're gonna get to Zion, Dreader must come. So we dread right now, no, but we have to go get Dreader.
Yes, sir.
And I'll tell you what I sang, but the last verse said, the world has been in darkness for so long. Now I and I forward to show right from wrong. But remember that pride rides before a fall. I and I might know more than most, but still we don't know it all. So Dreader must come. So now, that was 1974, I write them lyrics. And what those lyrics manifest today, because what happened now, as far as I can see, is Rasta get carried away with itself. And instead of maintaining the humility that Rasta started out with, you start with to do positive work, but with because Rasta man walk and peace and love is a humility thing. You understand? But that gone. And Rasta now make Rasta thing, the power that Rasta manifests on the earth, get to them head. So now Rasta has lost its real power. Its real power laid in its vision, its naturalness, its humility. All these things were things that made Rasta what Rasta became. But all of that gone now, right? And so now you have Rasta fight amongst them one another over what? So it's time for Rasta to, you see, it's time for Rasta now to take a stock and say, listen, we have lost our way. The way has been lost. We've lost track. We've gone off the track altogether. So that's why you can now say that France and not just France, all over Europe, reggae is a man that run reggae now, you know. Rasta and I run reggae now. So we have to recapture what we started out to be. And we talk about Rasta, and a lot of people think about dreadlocks. But in truth, Rasta started as a liberation struggle, as a struggle, just as I was talking earlier about we need to rediscover the dignity of Africa. Africa needs to find itself. And Marcus Garvey was about that. We have got to recover our glory as a people. It's about that African redemption. That's what Rasta originally was about. So that's what Marcus Garvey was about. That was what Selassie was about. Even Leonard Howard, that's what he was about. Africans finding themselves. So we have to know now, say, it's not about religion. It's not about religion. But Rasta now has now become a religion. And religion, as far as I see, all religion, all, whatever it is a mind control thing. And Rasta gets wrapped up in that now. We're not supposed to wrap up in that, where we are talking about religion. Yeah. Leave religion to people who want to deal with religion. We're supposed to deal with the liberation of Africa.
True.
That's it. Yeah, so
yes, sir.
there's a whole thing.
Whole thing. alright, you want more to ask the eye. This is the final question I want to ask the eye still. I call it now, rich black people. Why you think that the more fortunate black people today do not show more, or do more for the less fortunate within their race?
You see, it goes always go back to the mindset. What history has done to us is cultivated in the majority of us a mindset where we look up to the values of the Europeans. We look up to everything that is European. That's what we're following, because the Europeans is the master of the earth, and we are still slaves in our minds. We still see ourselves in terms of the values that the Europeans have established. And so you feel, say, when you have money, you're somebody. And that's what it's about. You want to have a whip of money. And the more money you have, the more of a somebody you are. That's the mindset. Right? So, but we understand it. But that mindset, we have to change it. It has to change. Right? Because it's time that those people realize that, as I said earlier, no matter how much money you have, no matter what, no matter the big name you have, you are still an African, and you're still looked down on. Your race is still looked down on. You're part of that race, and the rest of the world is going to see you as part of that race. No matter where you run from, you can't run from it. He's a black man. And so the only way to gain, so you can gain fame, and the fame will take you so far, but that's all it is, fame. But it's not real respect. It's not respect. A man like, I'm tell you, a man like Nelson Mandela was respected because of the man that he was, not because of him have money, because of the man that he was. Yeah. Even a man like Muhammad Ali, I don't know what he managed to do with his money, but Muhammad Ali was respected because of the man that he was. So those people who have money, those black people who have money today, must know that they're not going to be thinking about who you are. What sort of person are you? Are you the sort of person that a conscious person would want to look up to say, that is a great person because you have a lot of money? It is your character. And so now, if you're not going to, if you don't feel your support to support the less fortunate than you, then who are you?
Real talk.
Because, yeah, so you see, sure. Well, listen, we have to wrap this up.
We have to wrap up.
Yeah, but
it's been a great
we can talk some. Yeah, man, we can talk some more another time. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes,
yes, Elder. Give thanks for taking the time. It's been a great joy reasoning with the eye, and I know the ones here on the platform and a full joy in the reasoning still. So, we give thanks. Want to pray, more strength and blessing to the eye. Said we're going forward. You see it, and keep on doing what you're doing and keep saying what you're saying, it's powerful.
Yes, my brother, and I have to say the same to the eye, because without you being there. So Jah put you there now, so that this could happen. So you are doing a valuable work, my brother, and I want you to keep that up. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Give thanks. Yeah. Yes, sir.
And before I go, just going to say something. You mentioned the word reasoning, yeah, and sometimes we don't stop to think what a word means, you know. We just use them word and we know, right? But I want to say finally that it's time that we as a people start to deal with reason. We must make sure that what we now do is done with proper reason. Because a lot of things that we do, we're doing it without actually realizing even the reason what we're doing, why we do it. So let's get to a point where we can reason together and come to some reasonable conclusion. All right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Bless up here, sir.
Yes,
and bless to all who will hear this, and I hope that it will make some positive contribution to life.
Yes, sir. Give thanks. Yeah, man. Right. Yes, Elder. More love, more strength, manners and respect. And, you know, go easy.
Every time.
Yes, sir.
All
Have
right.
a pleasant night.
On the eye.
Yes, sir. Give thanks. Yes, my people. See it there? The Elder Geezer Graham. Yes, sir. Manners and respect. See, and I want to say give thanks, you know, for life, health and strength, you know, and I want to say manners and respect to the item who there upon the platform. Zane, more love, more strength, give thanks, say, you know, the reasoning also in the chat room, you know. Yes, I give thanks. Dylan Lambert, bless up there yourself. Sandan, yes, I. Ronald, bless up there yourself. Williams, bless up there yourself, you know what I mean. Everyone are there with we, you know what I mean. I Victory, you see what I say. Regina, bless up. M King, bless up. Zin Just, positive vibes, bless up. Rothschild, honors and manners, you know, bless up there yourself. Zin, bless up everyone out there. Zin, more love, more strength. You know, keep tuned to the platform here. We have you know, we have some more information coming from the elder here. You know, that's gonna be real interesting. So the idea more if you don't feel so you don't get nothing yet. Wait. We have some more of the elder for sure about that. Zane, as you could see, we put out something on the platform earlier today, and we have more. See, we have a lot more. All right, so manners and respect, peace and love. Give thanks to the item taking the time. If it's the first, well, before me even say that, I want to let the item know say the program was powered by Black Star International Media over there in Houston, Texas. Manners and respect. Bless up the item self. Zane, yeah, more love, more strength, you know, give thanks to the strength and the support. If it's the first time the item are tuning in on the platform, the item could please subscribe, you know what I mean, and please like, you know, this video in particular and the rest of videos them. See? Yes, sir. We want to large up Warrior Hill TV, manners and respect, you know, my general. Yeah, man, more love, more strength, you know what I mean? Yeah, going forward, more strength, more love. Warrior Hill TV. Yes, my people, so we're there one more Wednesday, and yeah, give thanks, you know what I mean? Keep it locked. Mindset program, Ijahstars my host, Emmanuel I, Selassie I, Jah, Rastafari, bless and sanctify.